So I guess this is a slightly unplanned pit stop on the Project Berocca journey, and that's because when I took the pickguard out of the box, I hadn't seen it for a few months, and in my head it was pure white, but I realised, of course, it's not really pure white. It's actually an off-white colour, kind of ivory, I guess. And against this really vibrant new blue colour, it just looks a bit drab. So in this video, I'm actually going to do something about that. But first, I want to talk about a couple of mods I did to the preamp before I reinstalled it. So if you remember back to episode 9, I spent a little time setting up these load caps and these load resistors just to tailor the treble response of each pickup. But the more playing time I've had on the bass, the more I think the neck pickup is still just a little bit trebly for me. So with that in mind, I ended up increasing this cap slightly and decreasing this resistor. Increasing the cap lowers the resonant frequency, and decreasing this impedance resistor, I think it was 82k, and I changed it to 68k. Decreasing this resistor damps that resonant peak slightly and just gives me a warmer tone for that pickup. I also thought it would be cool to be able to switch different capacitive loads for each pickup. So with that in mind, I used a couple of these push-pull pots with the switch on them for the volume and the blend controls. They're pretty easy to wire. There's more than one way to wire it, but probably the simplest is to run just an extra wire from the input node on the board. And then if this is the switch part of the pot, you want to connect, well, either end, I guess it depends which way is up or down, but you send one off to earth like that, and then you can mount your second cap on these two lugs of the switch, and then you just run this hot wire to here. And that way, in this configuration, when the switch is in, this cap is earthed and it's now in parallel with the existing cap. So the idea is to put the smaller of your two capacitances on the board and then just use a bit of maths to work out the parallel or the equivalent capacitance of adding this extra cap in. So here's a bode plot of the neck pickup, and you can see I can switch between two quite different treble voices. Makes the bass a bit more versatile. And I did a similar thing with the bridge pickup. Originally it didn't have a cap at all, if you'll remember that episode. So I've just now got a cap that switches in, and it gives me this big resonant peak, about 3.5 kilohertz. That just gets me a bit closer to the 3-band Stingray sound from the 90s. You can also switch in load resistors. Again, bear in mind that the switched resistor will be in parallel with the existing resistor, so you'll have to do the maths and choose accordingly. So now I can switch between two different treble voices for each pickup. And with the bridge pickup, it's probably easier to hear if I'm slapping. So after I realised the pickguard was actually ivory coloured, I put this image together in Photoshop and threw it up on a couple of social media sites. And by far the most popular were the white and the tortoiseshell. And those were also my favourites as well. Of course, you can make your own pickguards from blanks, but I've done that many times in the past. So I decided to get a bit creative, and I bought some of this redwood burl vinyl wrap. It's pretty easy to use, it's very, very cheap. I bought the redwood because it kind of looks like tortoiseshell. There's a few knacks to using it though, so check out my quick tech video that I posted the other day. I also had a go at actually heating it and wrapping it around this junk pickguard, because I figured if you're doing a solid colour, or if you're using a carbon fibre or effect or a chrome effect or something, that's what you would have to do to cover the laminations. it's not easy, but I think with a bit more practice, you could do a pretty neat job of it. It's especially tricky around these tight corners. And even though I think this faux tortoiseshell looks okay, the more I look at that image, the more I like the look of the body colour on the pickguard, which I think is the bottom left there. I actually put that one in because I was thinking I might make a clear perspex guard, but again, I've done that in the past. Plus, this body actually has a rectangular route for the neck pickup, which of course would be visible, and I didn't think to fill and reroute it before I sprayed the new finish. So I've decided to spray the guard with this Duramax finish that I used on the body, except instead of a clear gloss, I'm going to use a satin gloss instead, just for that sort of subtle contrast. So with that in mind, I've actually also used this jump pickguard to spray out a test patch. And again, with no primer, I've actually been amazed at how adhesive and durable these modern rattle cans can be. Amazing. I couldn't get that off. I scraped it and it seems to be really bonded to the plastic. So that's where I'm at with Project Berocca. In the next episode, which I think will be the final one, I'll be turning my attention to the neck profile. So thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button and I'll see you in the next one.